Hello friends, this is Venkatesh from Godrej Appliances, and today I would take you on a short journey towards what is e-waste, electronic waste, and how it affects our lives. E-waste or electronic waste is any broken, non-working or old or obsolete electrical or electronic appliances, just like refrigerators, washing machines, air conditioners, TVs, laptops, personal computers, mobile phones, etc. All these equipments, after their useful life, that is after the end of their useful life, they are considered as a wasteful product which has got a lot of electronics in it, but as such they are not useful to anybody. So how do we deal with these products, and why should we worry about dealing with these products? Means, what is the harm, what is the hazard that we are talking about here? We will find out in the forthcoming slides. Air conditioners, refrigerators, washing machines, laptops, phones, TVs, chargers, all these come under electronic waste or e-waste. The major categories are screens, large equipments, small IT equipments, temperature exchange equipments like heaters or coolers or freezers, small equipment like uh, vacuum cleaners or cameras, even lamps, CFL lamps, fluorescent lamps, bulbs, and every day, every passing year, more and more number of items are added to this list of e-waste by the Central Pollution Board. These are some of the photographs of items which become e-waste after their useful life. We have microwave ovens, we have deep freezers, refrigerators, we have washing machines, CFL lamps, we have vacuum cleaners, we have electronic kettles, we have fans, coffee makers, LCD screens, radios, even hot irons, cameras, headphones, video games, water dispensers, even mixers, grinders, tabs, power strips, telephones, induction heaters, trimmers, toasters, calculators, electronic robotic control toys, even hard disk, even a normal DVD disc. It's considered as electronic waste. Then we have remotes, old and obsolete remote controls of many equipments, table lamps, music systems, speakers, laptops, printers, Xboxes, even cables, all the charging cables, power cables, then peripherals like keyboards, mouse, so many items which come under the category of electronic waste. And a large portion, a large chunk of this electronic waste is also constituted by old discarded batteries and lamps, fluorescent lamps, CFL lamps. Many of these constitute a large portion of electronic waste. What do we do with that? When our home appliances are broken, when all of these equipment whose photographs you have just seen, when all of them are broken down, what do you do with them? It is very simple to say that we just throw them away. But where do we throw them away? Is throwing them away should also have a meaning as to where do you throw them? Where do you dispose them? And why should we be concerned so much about disposing of them? We look in the forthcoming slides. Electronic wastes, as per statute, as per government rules, they should not be just thrown away anywhere in the garbage. There is a certain procedure, there are some certain statutes, there are some certain guidelines which are to be followed while we dispose of these goods after their useful life. And how do we identify whether this item is an electronic waste or not, or whether this item is to be thrown in the dustbin or it is to be given to some electronic waste collectors or recyclers. How do we decide about that? You see this wheelie symbol. It's called a wheelie bin symbol. A wheelie bin symbol with a cross on it. It shows that it should not be disposed of in a normal garbage. That is the indication of a product which should go into e-waste. Look at this small video. This is a laptop charger. You see a wheelie bin symbol over it. Lot of symbols are there. One of those symbols is a wheelie bin symbol with a cross on it, which means it's an electronic waste and it should not be disposed of in normal garbage. Some statistics: 50 million tons of electronic waste was generated in this world as of 2018. 1 ton is 1000 kgs. A million ton is 10 lakh multiplied by 1000 kgs. 50 million tons is 50 multiplied by 10 lakh multiplied by 1000 kgs. These many kilograms of items which are considered to be hazardous and waste, electronic waste, are generated per year. As of 2018, these are the figures. So if you look at today's figures, they are far more higher. And India ranks 5 among the top 5 e-waste producing countries in the world. That means we are using a lot of electronic equipment. We are also disposing them off at higher frequency. The e-waste generation trend in India, if you see, from 2007 to 2023 and projected to 2025, how much is this? Somewhere around 15 lakh metric tons in 2023 is what the projection is. Look at the amount of e-waste that gets generated in thousands of kilos in the country, and it becomes a very big problem for the government and for all the agencies to dispose it of or recycle it in an environment friendly way. Now we are talking about environment friendliness. Now let us understand, how does these items or these equipment harm the environment? After all, they are just some plastics, some metals, some wires, that's all. So how does this environment friendliness term come in, or why is it so harmful to the environment? The major e-waste generators, if you look at cities in India, it's Mumbai, then Delhi, then Bangalore, then Chennai, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Pune, Surat, Nagpur to a certain extent. So the major e-waste generating cities in India, Mumbai is the Mumbai leads. Very footprint of the Mumbai city is very small, but if you look at the amount of e-waste generated, it's the highest in India. 24% of all electronic waste generated in India comes from Mumbai. That's a big lot. And the smartphone boom in India. In the last few years, we have seen that India is next to China in the number of smartphone users in the world, surpassing even United States, Indonesia, Brazil, Russia, Japan, all other countries. We are second to China. So these many smartphones, and we change smartphones every 3 years, at the most every 4 years. So every 3 years, these many millions of smartphones, they go waste. They have to be recycled, and then there are smartphones which are destroyed. They get broken down, they get damaged, they fall in water or in the rivers or somewhere, then they have to be discarded off. That's another story. If you look at the smartphones, a maximum number of smartphones after China is being used and being discarded in India. Why is it a problem? Because we don't know how to handle it when it goes waste. As long as the equipment is working, there is no problem. But once the equipment stops working, then you have a big problem as to what to do with the equipment. They are bulky, they have a lot of minerals in it, they have a lot of chemicals in it. We don't know what to do with those chemicals. And they are in very small quantities. How do we separate each and every chemical from each and every small electronic item? Okay, it's a big task and it involves a lot of cost. So why should we spend so much on disposing of or recycling of this? Electronic wastes, like we say, when we say e-waste, it contains a lot of chemicals which are hazardous to humans. Like there are cancer causing chemicals, there are chemicals which cause respiratory problems, there are chemicals which cause skin problems, there are chemicals which affect your eyesight. A lot of such chemicals are there, and all these chemicals are bundled up in one equipment which we have considered as waste, and now those chemicals cannot be just put anywhere. We cannot let those chemicals pollute our rivers, our land. We cannot do that. So it releases a lot of greenhouse gases and ozone depleting gases. There is a big risk to our health. So we have to tackle this properly. Whenever it gets warmed up, it releases a lot of toxic chemicals in the air. Not just in the air, there are a lot of toxic chemicals in the air, and when it suddenly rains, what happens? All those chemicals are washed down by the rainwater, and that those chemicals, they go to the ground. Along with the rainwater, they enter the ground, they enter deep into the ground, and then plants pick up those chemicals, vegetations, all those vegetations we are going to eat, so they come back into our bodies, so we are going to be anyway finally affected by that. Look at the way it has a big risk for the environment. Air, water, soil, everything contaminated by hazardous substances, because humans, we are not very responsible when it comes to waste. Waste for us is something which we have thrown out of our house and we have forgotten about it. But we cannot forget those wastes whose shelf life is very high. Because even after years after we have forgotten about it, those chemicals in those waste, they are going to get mixed up with water, air and soil, and they are going to pollute our environment, and they are going to pollute whatever food we are going to intake. So this is a big challenge for the entire world, not just our country. And looking at the millions of tons of e-waste generated per year, it's a big challenge to even dispose them off in a environment friendly way. What these people do is, you get these kabadi walas and all those people, they just collect these things and they give it to the nearest set of persons who will, dismantle these for a small price. Okay, they work in very pitiable and very harmful and very hazardous conditions. It's a big risk to the lives of those people who are dismantling these things. But then that happens because we don't want to spend much on treating this waste, because today it's not harming us, it is going to harm us in the future. So whatever is not harming us today is not a risk for us. That is what people think. These are some actual photographs of countries or regions where electronic wastes are being recycled, or we cannot call them proper recycling because it's not following the recycling process, but this is the way it's being done in many countries. Many a times children are used for this, because children from very poor families, they want to earn something, so they are given this job of collecting these items and like giving it to scrap dealers, or maybe dismantling those parts and just sorting them separately. There are very hazardous and pitiable conditions in which these people work. They are exposed continuously to all those chemicals. They are exposed continuously to all the metals and minerals and everything that is hazardous in e-waste. Many a times, whatever they don't need, from whatever material they don't get any what do you call them, recyclable value, they just burn it off, because that burning is an easiest way of disposing things off. But while burning, this caused multiple times more harm to those people than if it would have been left alone, because burning releases multiple amounts of gases, and burning also is a chemical process. So those gases or those chemicals which are inert in nature, they, with the help of heat, they come together, they releases more different kinds of toxic gases, and these toxic gases cause a lot of respiratory problems, and a lot of people at the lower strata of the society, those people who are actually doing this recycle process, they even die, and their deaths are not accounted for, because it's a kind of an unorganized sector which is very dangerous, which is not covered by any safety or security measures which are prescribed by the government. Many skin diseases, many rashes, cancers, these are all common in these people. Respiratory diseases. And not just humans, cows, dogs, domesticated animals, they search these dumping areas for food, and whatever they think is food, they eat it. So along with the organic or biological matter, a lot of dangerous such substances also are ingested by them. There are many pictures in YouTube, or you can find anywhere, where when they cut open an animal, they find plastic pieces, they find pieces of small blades, a lot of hazardous items, because it's a big life threat even for these innocent animals who don't know what they are dealing with. For a normal human being, vomiting, muscular pain, lung cancer, headache, respiratory diseases, abdominal pain, sleeplessness, fatigue, these are all just the tip of the iceberg. There are a lot of different or more diseases which are associated. What can we do about this? Simple thing is, don't dump it. But that is not the solution, because when we say we are growing as a civilization, so we have got a lot of comfort equipments or appliances with us, and they have a life, and after the end of their life we have to dispose them off. And many such appliances today, they have a life of 6 months or 8 months or even 1 year, and people are not bothered about the life. They have the money, they have the disposable income to buy it, so they just keep on buying it, they keep on disposing it at a higher rate. So what do we do with that? We cannot say don't dump your old machines, just keep your new refrigerator at home, and don't dump your old refrigerator, keep that also at home. That is not a practical solution. So there has to be some group of responsible individuals or group of people who would take up this work of recycling responsibly and in an environment friendly manner all these items, and then try to use a lot of these materials again back, so that we don't go mining for virgin materials again, and we keep on using these materials which otherwise would have ended up in a dump yard. We usually in India have a culture of repairing and reusing. We had it since so many years. But with the increase in disposable income in the hands of people, we have also followed the dangerous culture of disposing of items, of using disposable items more frequently. But every machine can be completely refurbished and used again for the next 10 or 15 years or so. We say a machine doesn't have a life, or it doesn't have a death. The machine can be continuously reused by changing certain parts, and then it can be used on and on for a longer periods of time. So the mantra is don't dump, extend the life of your appliances. See, for all the raw materials that is required for making an appliance, we start from mining it. We start from mining, and we start from virgin metal. We start from all those minerals and chemicals which are purely extracted from the earth. We put them together and make an appliance. That appliance runs for certain ages, and after that we cannot separate those chemicals or those metals or those plastics and put them back where exactly at those places where we have taken it back from. So what we have to do is we have to have some kind of a separation method where we can separate these hazardous and non-hazardous items, and then these items so separated can be recycled or reused in some other form in some other appliance, so its life can be extended further. So this is the mantra for the future of the world, not just our country. Recycle and reuse. That should be the thought that comes to our mind whenever any appliances break down. Reduce. What do we reduce? We reduce the amount of times we keep on purchasing the same equipment just because its life has gone down or it has encountered a problem, etc. Statistics say that only 20% of electronic waste is recycled as of today. That means 80% of those millions of tons of electronic waste, it goes down the drain in the naras. It is polluting your earth, it is polluting the air, it is polluting the water bodies, and it keep on adding to it each coming year. So that is a matter of concern. The Central Pollution Controlling Board of India, CPCB, it has come up with a package now which will ensure that all the electronic waste which is disposed, dismantled and recycled in an environment friendly way. Means whatever appliances you are buying, they will see to it that through companies who sell those appliances to you, through those companies they will see to it that a maximum amount of those equipments which might have already ended up as e-waste, at least a maximum amount of those equipments can be recycled back and they can be put into the new equipment in some form or the other. How it will be done? First, the manufacturer will give the customer a product. He will manufacture, he will give it to the dealer will sell it to the customer buys it from the dealer and it takes it to his home or office, and then he uses it till the applicable life of that product. When the product's life is over, the customer will call someone. Whom will he call? He will call a collector. He will call a collector of electronic waste. That collector will be authorized by the Central Pollution Controlling Board of India, CPCB, or we have PCBs or pollution controlling boards of states also who are under the CPCB. The CPCB gives the law and the states follow it. And these authorized collectors, how do we know this collector is authorized? The name of his company will be listed in the CPCB website. If you go to the CPCB website, it's a URL, it is open to the public. In that website you will see the name of that person, or you see the company of that person who is come to your doorstep to collect the e-waste, saying that I am an authorized collector. So you also have a transparency here. You give it to those collectors. What those collectors will do is they will collect all this e-waste from various places. When it becomes a sizable chunk, they will give it to recyclers. Now who are these recyclers? These recyclers are people who recycle this electronic waste, or first what they do is they segregate it into that separate it into different minerals, different materials, different metals, different chemicals. They separate the toxic and the non-toxic items. They separate the usable and the non-usable items. And then all those usable items are bunched together and given as raw material to the manufacturer back, so that he can add some of those recycled items into those products and give it back to you. All of these laptop producers like HP, Dell, Lenovo, all these people, you will find at least 30 to 35% of recyclable materials in all of these equipments. It's a law, it's a norm. They have to follow it. Otherwise, they cannot produce. So these laws are so strict. So how can you as a customer help people in doing so? What you can do is at least make a call. That's all that you have to do. You have to make a call. We'll come to that later. We'll just look at the process now. And being a responsible citizen of any country, what you can do is you can buy products or gadgets that are least harmful to the environment. Suppose the worst way your product was not properly handled, but still after the end of its life it should not harm the environment much, so you can at least do that. What do we do? For example, if you are buying an air conditioner, look at for the star ratings. Equipment with the maximum star ratings like 5 star, 4 star, these equipment are more environment friendly. They have got less amount of materials which would go as waste, as electronic waste, once the end of the life comes. Okay, these air conditioners, they are charged with eco-friendly refrigerant, those refrigerant which won't affect the ozone layer at all. They won't cause global warming. These refrigerants are costly, but then companies are responsibly adding those refrigerants, so that they have also have a responsibility towards the environment. They have a responsibility towards the society. So as a responsible citizen, you have a responsibility also to buy environment friendly appliances. And then those people who are manufacturing this equipment, they have to be responsible. Their processes has to be responsible. A factories cannot give an environmentally friendly product, and the factory cannot be a very polluting factory. It is giving a lot of chemicals, it is giving a lot of dark smoke, thick smoke or clouds. And we cannot just say that I am a very responsible factory because I am producing a environment friendly product, because the process, the factories, they also have to be responsible producers. They cannot dump their waste anywhere. They have to dump or they have to call waste collectors and let them collect the waste. There is a process laid out by the Central Pollution Control Board, and they have to follow all that. Only those factories which follow all these norms, they are given the permission to even manufacture your products like air conditioners or washing machines or refrigerators, etc. If they don't comply, they are not even given the license to manufacture. Look out for the star rating on the appliances. More the star rating, the more environment friendly the product is. So you can be assured that all that care has been already taken on the product when it has been manufactured. Godrej as a company has got a take back policy, because we are responsible manufacturers of equipment which are considered to be e-waste after their useful life. So what we want to do is we want to contribute to society by taking back some of the old equipments from you. If you have got no other source to give them back, no other authorized source to give them back, we have got authorized sources to back us. We have got authorized collectors, we have got authorized recyclers on our team. We have got partners. We have partnered with so many people who are authorized collectors and recyclers, and we can take back those equipment from you, and we can dispose them in an environment friendly manner. For e-waste disposal through Godrej, what you have to do is, just like I said a few slides ago, you have to just call. You have just make a call on this toll free number 1800 209 5511, and call for a give a service call for someone to come and pick up your appliance. That's all. It's as simple as that. This is a small video which gives us an awareness about the environment and its means how we are correlating with it. It's for kids, but I found this video very helpful.
This video is from www.makemegenius.com. If you want to see more science videos, go to www.makemegenius.com. Oh, yeah, it is free.
Very, very bad. Very, very bad. You bad human. Do you know why you were punched in the face? Okay, let me tell you. You were punished because you are causing global warming. Do you know what global warming is? But first, clean your tears. Take this hanky. To understand global warming, you first need to understand the greenhouse effect. Do you know about the greenhouse effect? Oh, you're thinking about a house which is green. Don't act like a stupid. There are few gases in atmosphere, like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide. These are called greenhouse gases. These greenhouse gases are good if they are in right quantity. These greenhouse gases form a layer around Earth. When rays of sun come and fall on Earth, some of them are absorbed by Earth, but most of them reflect back to the atmosphere. These reflected rays reach upper atmosphere. There, greenhouse gases take most of the heat from these rays. Some of the heat goes into space. The heat captured by greenhouse gases spreads in every direction. These heat, which has been trapped by greenhouse gases, helps to keep our Earth warm. If heat of sun is not stopped by these greenhouse gases, our Earth would freeze and average temperature would be 18 degrees Celsius. So these gases are good for Earth's survival. Otherwise, plants, animal, and we humans would have no life here. This stopping of sun heat to keep Earth warm is called greenhouse effect. So greenhouse gases are good. They trap the heat, so they help Earth to have nice temperature so that we all can live here happily. Do you know what we humans are doing? We are increasing the amount of these greenhouse gases. We have smoke coming out of vehicles, smoke coming out of factories. In this smoke, there is a lot of methane, a lot of carbon dioxide, which are greenhouse gases. Also, do you know trees and plants breathe in carbon dioxide gas, thus reducing it from atmosphere and keeping a balance of greenhouse gases? But unfortunately, we are cutting trees too, so there are less plants to absorb greenhouse gases, but more cars and factories to increase these gases. When these greenhouse gases become more and more in atmosphere, the layer of these gases become more and more thick. So when sun rays come down and get reflected back by Earth, they reach this thick layer of greenhouse gases. All these heat rays get trapped, nothing goes up in the space. Temperature is increasing, Earth is becoming warmer. This is called global warming. So, now you know why you got punched. You, like all of us, are also responsible for global warming. Oh, it is too hot today. Good, you've an umbrella. You know umbrella not only saves us from rain, it also saves us from sun rays. But do you know there is bigger umbrella made by nature in the sky? In Earth's atmosphere, there is a layer in stratosphere. It is called ozone layer. It is about 15 kilometers above the Earth's surface. This is umbrella of the Earth. It protects our Earth from ultraviolet rays. Sun sends many kinds of rays towards all planets. Out of those ultraviolet rays are very dangerous for plants and humans. Ultraviolet rays are also called UV rays. Ozone layer umbrella absorbs these rays and protects the Earth. This ozone layer umbrella does not allow ultraviolet rays to come to Earth and harm us. Do you know the harm of ultraviolet rays? These can cause skin cancer, eye cataract, sunburns, and less plants. Do you know we humans are destroying this umbrella? By using old kind of air conditioners, old refrigerators, fire extinguishers, spray cans, we are spreading gases called CFCs. These CFCs gases destroy ozone layers by reacting with it. Ozone layer is getting badly affected by these CFC gases. There are now holes in ozone layers, so protective umbrella has no holes. So if there are holes in umbrella, UV rays would directly hit the earth, so we humans would have less plants, more diseases. Don't worry, we can protect the ozone layer by using things which don't have CFCs.
This